Okay, let's cover a couple things this evening that has been brought to my attention. Uh, One thing is the search warrant that was just released. I read an article about an ex FBI agent that says there's not enough evidence that was collected, so they don't have much to go on. Um, that's just not true. The few things that they did mention on that search warrant, it's going to go to the lab. Once it goes to the lab, they determine what it is. They can start putting pieces together and say, okay, it fits here, it fits here. And there's a lot of things that were just they were collected, but it was just vaguely put on the search warrant, the things that they located. So we can just wait until the lab gets done, and then once we get that finished up, we can see what's actually how things are gonna start fitting into place. Uh, the gag order's been put out where nobody can talk, not even family members or family member lawyers or anything, uh, because there is so much chatter out there on the internet that people are just getting angry over certain things. It's okay to get frustrated by not knowing everything, but we don't have a right to know everything. Those things don't come out until the case is adjudicated. Not all details will be released until that point, and so we have no right to it. The defense and the prosecution has a right to it. So there was something else that was brought up, was his education level and why he's so smart, that he would never make these type of mistakes. That there's got to be somebody else who did this crime because he's too smart to make mistakes. Not true. He only learned everything he has in books, in classroom. It's a controlled environment. Whatever you learn in a controlled environment, it's really hard to use in the field until you've actually been in the field. So if he's thinking about evidence collection, or he is educated on all the evidence and everything else, when he was out there committing this crime, he didn't calculate an adrenaline, fear, uh, anything else that was going through his brain. He didn't calculate that in with whatever education level he has, and so we do make mistakes, and that's what most criminals will do, which we're lucky for. We're really happy he made these stupid mistakes, because then we can start to collect evidence on him and possibly get the suspect convicted. Again, if he's the one who did it. Right now, all evidence is pointing that way. So let's just sit back and hope, and we'll just keep paying attention to what this gets released by the courts, what they're telling us, and we can go from there and start putting things together. Something else that was brought up was a few things on the crime, the criminal's attitude. Why do criminals do what they do? A lot of times, a criminal will do what they do out of opportunity. It's a quick hit. I can make a quick buck off this. I'm gonna break into your car. I'm gonna break into whatever it is. I'm gonna steal your purse. I'm gonna hit you at an ATM, and I'm gonna take your money. And these are things that criminals mostly do. Is they're a quick hit. They're crime of opportunity. If they're not, then they're actually targeting somebody. They want to get something from somebody, or they're going after somebody for a specific purpose. So when criminals do look for a soft target, they're going to look for something they can divert, somebody they can throw a diversion tactic at you. Anything from hey, I lost this, or hey, could you help me find this, or could I borrow your phone, or whatever it is when they come to talk to us. I know we all talk about trying to be nice to each other in this world today and be kind, but you really have to go off your instincts. If somebody comes to ask you borrow your phone because they've had an incident, they need to call somebody, you go off your instincts. If your instincts say no, get out of here, you run, leave. Then just do what your instincts tell you to do. Get out of there. Don't try to be the nice person and possibly become a victim. Now, does that mean you have to be rude and ignorant to everybody? No, just trust your gut. Tell you whatever your gut's telling you to do it. Some of the other things is if somebody does attack you, they are not a trustworthy person. If they look at you and say, hey, let's go over here and you won't be harmed. Follow, I'm going to take you over here and you won't be harmed. They're not trustworthy to begin with. They're committing a crime against you to begin with. So don't trust them. If they want to take you to a second location, you fight. You fight with everything you've got not to be moved to that second place. Your chances of survival drop over 48% when that happens. If they do have a diversion, like a physical diversion or something they're throwing at you, you need to have your own. You need to have a defense plan in your brain set up to where if something happens to you, you're going to react in a way of loud noises, a whistle, a scream, get attention drawn to your place, but also have a plan, a quick reaction fight, something that's going to strike and run, something I can hit this person with as hard as I can, as fast as I can. If I'm being attacked on the street, I'm not going toe to toe in a boxing match with this person. I'm hitting hard, fast, and getting out of there. I'm going to do whatever I can to get away from this person. And the thing is, though, is whatever tactic you decide to use or try to learn, once you learn it, you have to practice it. Man, and I'm going to use the term man because we are not the smartest creatures on earth. We are born with two things that we're good at, and that's fighting and procreating. And sorry, but it doesn't happen that way. You're born with one thing and one thing only, as survival. Everything comes into that survival, but sometimes our survival fight isn't trained well enough. We don't do it enough. If you look at the animal kingdom, from the time they're babies up, they fight all the time with each other. They're just fighting constantly because that's their training. They train to fight to survive. We don't do that as human beings. We have a tendency to try to be nice. From the time you're a little child in a bus or in school or whatever it is, don't hit, don't pull, you're told never to hurt or harm another person, which is a great thing we need to learn. But we also have to put in our minds we have to fight to survive. We have to fight to protect ourselves. So whatever tactic you decide to use it to fight. Train with it and fight with it. Do everything you possibly can, but constantly train with this thing. Don't listen to a criminal. If they ask you to go to another location, fight them. We were taught to if they ask for certain things, give it to them. Fine, do that. If they ask for your wallet, your purse, whatever it is, not worth dying for, give it to them. But go off your instincts too. If you think it's going to go further than that, give it to them. It's just not worth dying over. And it's like a Shark Tank analogy. You got to think about this: is whatever you drop in that Shark Tank, are you willing to go in that Shark Tank during feeding time to get it back? You drop a watch, a phone, whatever it is, that Shark Tank, and it's feeding time. Are you going to go in after it? Your child falls in. Yeah, you're going to go in there after it. So you got to think about this. What is it worth? If it's not worth it, just let them have it. It's a property crime. But always be prepared no matter what. If somebody's going to attack you, have a distraction of your own, which is your noise, whatever it is, whistles, chemical sprays, whatever you want to use. Have that distraction, have a fight plan, practice that fight plan, and get out of there and just run. But draw attention to the incident. So I'm going to leave with that. The key thing you get out of this is, please, come up with a defense plan, just like your residential defense plans. We can talk about that in the future. We talked about how to secure your residence, but let's talk about when somebody breaks into your residence. What do you do? And we'll talk about that the next time. But just have a plan and practice that plan. It only takes a few minutes every day just to practice. I don't care if you have a punching bag or whatever it is. If you have a class you go to it. If you go to the range, don't train on a flat range. You just stand there and put rounds in paper. Move around, practice doing different things, your draw, everything you have. Whatever you decide to do, practice with it. You have to practice. And you will survive. You will become capable of taking care of yourself against the worst adversary. So stay safe, stay vigilant, and have a great night.